marker, it's merging it with a Pavlovian conditioned response through a dopamine-driven social validation feedback loop. Again, 2 billion people a month use this, and the average person spends 6 hours a week on it. So that's 6 hours a week of social programming.
Bad actors can now manipulate large swaths of people to do anything you want.
And if you don't see what I'm trying to say at this point, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate again, as I've said in past videos, that Facebook has admitted to carrying out social research on its users.
Facebook secretly conducted a massive psychological experiment on nearly 700,000 users,
which is part of what happens when you sign up for Facebook. You give your consent to being part of these things. It's buried in the user agreement. You automatically opt in to being a guinea pig for Facebook's social research, and they don't have to tell you first when they're going to do something. They just do it.
Every user essentially grants the social network permission to conduct these kinds of experiments when they create their accounts.
If you're using Facebook, you're part of that. You don't have a say. You cannot opt out. There's no opting out. Because besides just getting all this information on everyone, that's also just the point of Facebook. And they've done these studies, and they've admitted, and they've released it to the public, and they've said, look, we found we can turn people's moods up and down by purposefully loading your Facebook wall with either good or bad news.
If you like it, take it out and hold it up. I'm predicting pretty close to 100% saturation. Look at that. I'm right. Probably 90% by now. It's the first thing you do in the morning. When you hold up and you wake up, you check your little robot. It's on your body for almost the entire day.
Not only was I interrupted, I also kept on reaching out for my phone, hoping that perhaps there was a notification. And I wasn't doing this consciously. It was exactly like Pavlov's dog, but my bell was my ringtone, and my sugar was that one notification a day you might get that makes you happy. As it turns out, we got so addicted to technology that 9 out of 10 people today experience something called phantom vibrations. This is when you have your phone in your pocket and you thought it vibrated, you pull it out, there is nothing.
Now, if you went back 20 years in time to a coffee shop and you said that was the way a coffee shop was going to look in the future, you'd be out of your mind. People looking at these little pieces of silicon in various sizes, not really communicating with each other, communicating with their little robot buddies. You do know that one of these operating systems for these robot phones in our pocket is actually called Android. Right on the nose, they just define it. It's an Android, it lives with you.
Today, we're on the cusp of our next great era as a species. Welcome to the augmented age.
But that next step might as well be over a chasm. It'll be such a leap from where we were. New telecom commercials are blatantly throwing it in people's faces, just by the way. The fact that the majority of us aren't paying attention, lost in our devices, lost on the internet.